A police commissioner from Leicester has decided that his staff can have no contact with Black Lives Matter.
Based.
Exactly.
The correct thing to do.
Exactly.
Not just political, but actually the police should be non-partisan.
Yes. So Conservative politician Rupert Matthews, writing in Conservative Home, said that his staff cannot have any contact with BLM. He said, and I love what he's saying here, why are we meeting an organisation that wants to defund the police, has put police officers in hospital and desecrated the cenotaph in London?
Yeah. And also endorses Cuba, communism, socialism, and
race
anything.
wars, it seems, just race antagonism. But that's the point, isn't it? You know, the express goal of Black Lives Matter is defund the police. And the police commissioner in Leicester's like, I'm not interested in them. It's like, I mean, it's literally like Black Lives Matter having a meeting with the KKK. It's like, why would we have a meeting with them? They want to get rid of us. Yeah. It's literally their opinion, their stated goal. Why would we have a meeting with them? We've got nothing to say to them, right? He went on. Come the meeting, I have a dozen or so faces looking at me from team screens. Any other business? Yes, I say. As of now, this organisation will have absolutely no contact with Black Lives Matter. So great. So he was tasked with overseeing policing.
I love what he says there. There is a deathly silence. Meeting over, and the screen goes blank.
Based.
Why is there a deathly silence? Why are the police like, oh, I don't know about that?
Yeah, they don't know what to say. I mean, you know. But yeah, so this was amazing. So Shaman Rahman, a Labour councillor in Leicester, was like, it's extraordinary that somebody who's meant to be the PCC for the entire Leicestershire area, but not extraordinary when you consider it's a Conservative PCC and the precedent in the Conservative Party have set when it comes to race and race relations. Good. That's excellent.
That's not a diss.
No, that's a ringing endorsement.
Like the standard for the Conservative Party in race relations is to not care about race.
Yeah, not all black people.
Oh man, you got us.
Yeah. Not all black people are race communists, and communist conservative relations should all take place like this. With the conservatives saying "get bent, communists." She added that she. Excuse me. She added that she was not sure what the ban would mean in practice, as Leicester did not have a local BLM organisation.
Liar.
Even if that's a lie, well, you got nothing to whine about then, do you, commie? You know, no complaints. What are you gonna? Oh, you banned Black Lives Matter in Leicester. You don't have one. Well, then shut up. It's like critical race theory isn't being taught in schools. Well, then it's no problem if we ban it, then, is it? You know, honestly. I just find it sad for the ethnic minority voters in Leicester. Ah, yes, that's right. The Chinese immigrants in Leicester are like, well, if they're not going to talk to Black Lives Matter, I'm not being represented. Do you hear yourselves? Do you hear yourselves, the ethnic minorities? Like, people from South America have come over and they're like, oh my God, they don't support Black Lives Matter. Whatever will I do?
West Africans, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. The area is very diverse, and the person who's meant to represent us in the PCC role is essentially shutting out a huge group of minority voices, saying he isn't willing to talk to them. That's right. You don't consider yourself part of the local community. You don't consider yourself integrated or anything like that. In fact, you need a separate racial caucus to represent you, is what you're saying. That's not how it works. He represents all of them. You can just, I don't know, go and talk to him. You can just be like, hi, I live in the local area. I have a problem. He's not going to be like, get out. I'm not going to use a swear word, obviously.
But this is exactly how the Klan used to think about the United States. The United States had turned into a place of integration, and us as whites needed an area in which we could segregate ourselves off. And they're not talking to the white community. It's like,
which is exactly the position the critical race theory.
And exactly the position this Labour person is taking.
And it's like, can't you just say we as Conservative members? You know, because I mean, a bunch of them, the Indians, the Sikhs, you know, they'll all be Conservative Party members. So can't they just go and say, hi, we're party members, we have an issue with this? And he'll say, oh no, a brown person. You know, he's just going to... Well, that's like, he's just
I know that's the norm for Labour, but...
Yeah, right. Did you get charged as much as a white person to get into this meeting? That's the Labour position. The Conservative position was like, okay, what can I do to help? Doubtless. You know, it's going to be completely normal. They're going to be normal people talking in normal ways. They're not going to be like, oh, but my race communism. Anyway, I just want to say, like, the reason that this is good, the reason it's good, the Conservatives saying no race communists, no racial politics, is because, A, they're Conservatives, but because race... I mean, what... Why do I have to explain why the Conservatives are going to do this? Every day. Why do I have to explain this?
What a damning indictment of our politics.
I know, it's embarrassing.
So the reason it's good that the Conservatives aren't communists.
This is how much they've got the Conservatives by the balls at this point. But it's because race politics is destructive to liberal democracies, because liberal democracies are based on party politics, which is the politics of self-affiliation. Not here's the black party, here's the white party, here's the Asian party. That's bad.
Here's the workers, here's the kulaks. Yeah. We hate the kulaks, we're going to kill them all.
Well, that's the way to South Africa, is the point. And what's going on in South Africa is hardly good. So, in fact, individualistic party politics is much better. A spokesperson for the Leicestershire PCC said, I can confirm that Mr. Matthews directed his staff to have no contact with the Black Lives Matter organisation, which is BLM UK. And they clarify saying that's not the same as the Black Lives Matter movement, which is apparently something that the PCC supports, but of course needs to differentiate between that and the official organisation BLM UK. Now, this got a reaction from Leicester MP Claudia Webb, your favourite.
Oh, the Queen of the Slaves. Like, what was it? One in 8 people in her constituency is a modern slave.
Yes, the big-brained overlord of Leicester East. She asked the Rupert Matthews to assure her constituents that they will not be discriminated against in the wake of his critical comments against the Black Lives Matter organisation. What does she think he's going to do? Enslave them?
Claudia, you've already done that.
Right? Exactly. Like, it's hardly that she's bothered about that. She wrote a letter to him saying...
She doesn't write about it. I'm sorry, I'm actually really annoyed about the fact that she gets off so light on this.
Yeah.
That she's not concerned with it and instead spends all her time like, oh, did you know there was slavery in the British Empire 200 years ago? There's slavery right now in your backyard. And you're like,
You're presiding over it, Claudia. How did this fly get?
Oh, no, I'm going to kill it.
Anyway, she says, I fear you are propagating far-right talking points that have associated a movement for racial justice as something to be feared. Ooh, the far-right don't want race communism.
Racial justice. Racial justice. That's a neo-Nazi point, you idiot. What is justice? Definition of justice, getting what you deserve. Apply that to race. So tell me, Claudia, what do the Jews deserve? What do the blacks deserve? What do the whites deserve?
I thank God every day. I'm an atheist, but I thank God every day that I'm not a communist.
But the conservatives are like, yeah, I don't think I want to talk about what the Jews deserve. What a nonsensical idea. You're like, yeah, that's because you're far right. Unlike me, I've got an opinion on what the Jews deserve. Yeah, I'm sure the Labour Party does.
But it's weird that 75% of British Jews vote Conservative. Interesting how they decide that the politics of self-association and individualism is better than racial hierarchies.
Like
weird.
The Jews are like, I'd rather like it if the political parties that run this country don't have a plan for me and my race. Like the Labour Party, who literally have a section in the manifesto that was like, I'll plan on race or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'll manifesto.
Well, they had a race manifesto.
There we go.
They literally had a race and religion manifesto. It's like, sorry, I'm going to be voting against Nazism in the next election. Sorry, Claudia, you're out of luck there. I know it sucks. But she says, can you please, in your response, reassure my constituents that you will act on their behalf without discrimination? To which I'm sure he replied, I'll be taking a knee shortly. In response to the letter, he reiterated that he's like, look, I loathe and detest all forms of racism, obviously. I will do all I can
Which is why I'm doing this.
Yeah, eradicate prejudice and discrimination, obviously, which is why he's opposed to Black Lives Matter. And I will continue to be a champion of equality and fairness for all. And he said to Claudia Webb that he hoped that she would join him in condemning Black Lives Matter UK.
Base. No, they're an awful organisation.
But isn't that just the funniest thing? Yeah. Turning around to her and saying, so I trust you'll join me in condemning race communism then? She's like, no.
I condemn racism. Now please join me by condemning BLM.
Exactly.
That's the right thing to do. I mean, actual cool guy here.
Yeah.
Putting something forward.
Well,
That's
not
fantastic.
just cool guy, absolute Chad.
Yeah.
I mean, where are the God Emperor memes from Robert Matthews?
This should be how the PM talks in the Conservative Party. And instead, it's we got this guy, which, fantastic. I want to see him as the PM next.
Hey, who knows?
If you're going to keep this up.
Who knows where he's going to go with this kind of attitude. But yeah, good stuff. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.